Hello everyone, and welcome back to Unboxing Theories. I know it has been a long time since my return, but we recently had some interesting things happen. First of all, we know that Louis is going to have his comeback soon on October 5th. We are going to have Louis' chapter. So excited for that. But of course, most recently, we've had a new addition to the team, which is Hwon. And up until now, we didn't know much about Hwon at all. He literally just got added to the team last week, I believe. And we just had a secret trailer, or I think that's what it's called, a secret trailer, that was released, which let us know who Hwon is. So Hwon has now been revealed as the King of Storms and has an absolutely intriguing introduction to us. It starts off with wailing storms, from thunder to a full-on tornado and lightning spraying across the sky, wind kicking up the dust all around. It's a very violent scene, and in the midst of that, Hwon enters. He dissipates the tornado, appearing out of it like a glowing figure, and there is a black cloud behind him. Lightning flashes around his face, but he doesn't flinch. He isn't afraid, and in fact, seems to be in control of the storm around him. This is a very powerful introduction, quite unlike what we've seen before. Many of the kings are powerful, but to have blatant control over the elements is a new side we haven't witnessed in fullness like this. Hwon's trailer is also very dark. To me, as I first watched it, it almost seemed like a villain or an anti-hero arriving on the scene. He's someone to be feared, and I wonder whose side he's really on. I have a few ideas of what we might see from him, but obviously all of these could be ridiculous and unfounded. These are very loose theories. So our first theory is Hwon is here for revenge. Storms and clouds are closely related. Maybe Hwon learned of Chiu's fallen kingdom, and maybe he had some closeness with his kingdom for a time, and now has come seeking revenge for a fallen friend. Perhaps he considers some of the other kings to be responsible for this loss, and in joining them, he intends to find out how he can gain his revenge. The second theory is there is a thought that he could be based on a king of Hwon, who was self-proclaimed and was of the name Hwon, later Baekje. Hwon's costuming appears to be Chinese-inspired to me, but the name is obviously identical to this Korean king. The historical king was self-proclaimed, and he was at war for years with Goryeo, constantly fighting. However, he had diplomatic relations with the Ling dynasty in China, who proclaimed that he was the rightful king. Maybe Hwon was not a king, but took over the Kingdom of Storms with his powers. It's an interesting thought, but I'm not sure how well this one fits. Still, generally the kings are based on historical figures, so it doesn't hurt to add this one in. My third theory is that maybe Hwon is already corrupted by darkness. Much like Ivan is being controlled by the Black Crown, and he is simply following the will of the darkness that has consumed him. Maybe he chose the darkness to achieve some end, or maybe it took him over unwillingly. We see a black cloud behind him when the tornado disappears, almost as if it's looming over him, or that it's a portal he exited from. There's definitely something mysterious about his sudden appearance. These are all just thoughts and ideas, but I think it's plain to see that Hwon is going to have a lot to add to the story. He appears very powerful and dangerous, and that's certainly going to play a part in the chapters we have left in History of Kingdom. I personally think Hwon is either an anti-hero, seeking revenge, or something to that effect because of how dark and looming that trailer is. I really can't wait to see what happens going forward. I think his character is, like I said, going to be super interesting for us to see, especially going into Louis' chapter, and this is the first chapter where we get to see him in action with the other kings. I'll be excited to see how he reacts. And yeah, I think that's all I've got for theories for you guys. I'd love to hear your ideas of what you think about Hwon's trailer, or, what you think of even what he might add to the story later on, your own theories. And maybe if you want to throw in some theories about what you think Louis' era is going to be like, love to hear that too. I think, I'm going to be back in action pretty soon, especially with Louis' chapter coming up in about a month. And you'll see a lot more from me, so just look forward to that. And thank you guys so much. Have a good one.